like a packaged health and fitness program for walking that you could just roll out with a few modifications. So if you don't have anything, I would steal this and use it because it's great information. So I just put that as an example. Online video demonstrations, they're kind of hit or miss really depending on the quality of your phones or whatever you're recording with. Window art contests around here have been hugely successful, as kids can put the stuff in the windows and judges drive around. Sidewalk chalk, I just got a donation of 2,000 packs of sidewalk chalk to give out to kids. That's something that people are really encouraging because it's artistic, it's inexpensive, and you can do it easily. Forming your own YouTube channels. I saw a great example of this, and you're gonna call me a liar. I think it's Pensacola, Florida, but don't quote me on that. They have a YouTube channel with some awesome programming. So I would definitely Google around and see what other people are doing. Selfie photography contests, virtual recreation website with the links, which a lot of you have been doing already. The virtual tours of museum, aquariums, and zoos. There are really awesome ones out there. I think the best one, maybe you've seen it, but they had one of the museums had a contest like recreate this painting using things you have in your house. So you could use like lunch meat or toilet paper rolls or whatever, and post it online. So people were getting super creative. Pen pal programs. So this is something that we're doing because we have the kids registration form, so we know who these kids are, and we're encouraging them to write to each other, send each other emails if they have access to email. But just write letters to one another just to keep in touch, draw them pictures. We are sending postcards from the rec to our kids, to people in our programs, just to say, hi, we're still here. We're thinking about you. Parades, this has been happening in our area quite a bit. And especially with the schools, with teachers driving around. The Easter Bunny went on a parade in our area, and several others. So this is where I would just like to ask everybody who's on this call, and I can't really see that with my screen share right now, but do you have other ideas of how Parks and Rec can keep people engaged during this time when they're mostly at home? So if you can either unmute your mic, just identify who you are, or send it to Dan in a chat and he'll save all that. We need like the Jeopardy theme right now.
Yeah. Somebody could.
Anybody out there?
Join in.
Kathy Wegner, are you there?
All right.
Wow, okay. So hopefully that gives you some good ideas. If you have any other ones, I'd encourage you to send them to Dan to add to the list. At this point, I know like Tammy Cohen had sent an email out to a lot of us saying, what about getting together as Park and Rec groups and collaborating and coming up with virtual summer programming, a virtual summer camp, so that we're all not trying to do it on our own, that we can all contribute to those efforts. I think that's a great idea. And if you're in our area, you're welcome, of course, to be a part of that. But I think that's a great idea to collaborate with your fellow professionals.
Kathy Wegner says we were sending out craft activities, but now all program staff is furloughed. So it's up to her now.
So that is an issue, and that's where who's actually still working in the office, right, so to speak, or who's working at home. One thing that I have done for my staff that is not working is that I offered $10 gift cards for grocery stores or Target for anyone who submitted an activity video or a demonstration that we could upload on our Facebook page. So that has been pretty popular. Everybody can do up to 2 videos a week. It's basically income they don't have to declare because it's a gift card for the grocery store. And we give them a choice of like Weiss, Redner's, Giant, Target, or Walmart so that they can get things they need for their family. So that's just one idea. But you're right, it is hard. And if anybody is interested, I do have an activity pack that Alvernia University developed, and they gave it out to us. It's awesome. Now, it's a lot of pages and you'd have to copy it, but it's absolutely incredible. And it's like a few weeks worth of activities that the college themselves developed for school-age children. So I'm happy to share that resource with anybody if you'd like it.
Okay, and Jessica added they're doing a weekly challenge that has a different theme each week, and they're going to post the artworks, and it's about thanking medical workers. And they just added a sidewalk chalk challenge that was posted on Facebook, and whatever picture received the most votes was included in a future activities guide.
That's an awesome idea. So who organized the sidewalk chalk contest?
That was Jessica Soley. Yep.
Did the rec department do it?
Yeah, she's from a rec department. I don't know which one. And some people are requesting copies of that. I'm going to put my email address up here. And you can email your programs to me, and I'll make sure that it gets out to everyone.
Okay. And you're saying a couple people requested the copy of the Alvernia packet?
Think so, yeah.
Okay. All right, I'll send it out. It is a big document though, but I'll scan it and then you can just print it out. It's in.
And Jessica's from Abington Township Parks and Rec. Okay.
Okay. Well, thank you.
All right.
So if while you're in the next few weeks, if you come up with anything else that's just amazingly awesome, I would suggest you send those to Dan. Maybe we could put them up on the PRPS website and share them out or put them out as a blast. We need all the help we can get at this point, I think.
Mm-hmm. Oh, good. They're really coming in now. Hold on here.
Oh, back up. Okay.
Several want the Alvernia packet, and Devin S. is working with our local nursing home to pair up seniors with children so the kids can draw pictures and letters that will be sent digitally. And Tammy E. from Upper Dublin is starting to partner with our library to offer virtual programs, several activities and programs next week celebrating Earth Day. Bird identification while walking is one of the ideas. There you go.
Cool. Awesome. And if I remember the name of the website in Florida, they had like Post-it note scavenger hunts. They did all kinds of crazy stuff, and I thought it was really good ideas. And I probably have it on my laptop here somewhere, but I'm afraid to X out of here and then not be able to get back to where I'm at. So I'll send that out to all of you as well, since I have the list of who's on this call. Does anybody else have any comments about some programming ideas?
For profit virtual. That's it for now.
Okay.
I think.
Well, feel free to chime in at any time. Okay, so let's assume we have summer playground under normal circumstances. Okay. So these are things to consider. So here's my question of the day. What is the most important component of a successful summer playground program? Put that answer in the chat.
We got the kids. We have solid staff. We have high participation from children. Question. Come on, let's see some more answers, people. Organization. Engagement. Safety. Safety precautions. Rules. Fun.
Okay, well, so of course, some of you may disagree with me, but I'll take it, that's fine. In my opinion, and from what I've seen in my years in Parks and Rec, all the things that everybody mentioned do not happen without staff, right? So in my opinion, staff are the most important part of your program because they're the ones that have the most interaction with kids. They're the ones that can make or break your program. They're the ones that if they're bad, or if they're horrible, next year you're not going to have kids in your program because word gets around. So these are my staff, my cool staff on the playground from last year. This is part of my staff, actually. We have another, we work with a local career link, so we actually have double this number. These are our paid staff that we pay, and then we have another full set of staff that is paid through Career Link for the summer. But this picture was taken at the end of our training program. So these staff are all assigned at 9 different playgrounds throughout the city, as well as having a playground coordinator who helps Heather, who's pictured on the right, organize activities. But my question when I talk to people about their staff is, are your staff well trained? Are they creative? Are they self-motivated? Are they good communicators? Are they good leaders? Are they problem solvers? And are they fun? And how do you know that? You know, how do you know those things about your staff? So some of these things you may not know until you're in the summer, right? You kind of use your gut instinct when you're hiring people. Sometimes you go by recommendations. You just hire them because you need staff, you need bodies. But some of these things you can control, and you do control. So are they well trained? You know, are your staff well trained? Are you doing not only, you know, programming training, but are you doing legal training? Are you talking about being mandated reporters? Does everybody understand what that means? Do they understand the process, what that actually means? Do they understand how to look around their facilities and know that something needs repaired, or to recognize there's a problem, and do they know who to contact? Are you giving your staff the tools that they can really run the programs at your sites effectively, you know, or do you have to hold their hand? So are they creative? If they don't get a box full of art supplies for the day, can they think on their own and come up with activities? Can they keep kids engaged? Are they interesting? And an idea that I have for you, and you've probably already used this, and I'm sorry if I'm repeating anything you already know, but what I do to kind of gauge the creativity of staff is when we start our training, I put them all outside and I give them 15 minutes to create a game just with things that are outside. I don't give them anything. So sticks, rocks, flowers, whatever they have. And you would be amazed that when people are challenged to come up with things to do, when they're not given balls and bats and hula hoops and things, how creative they can really get. And so that's how I want people to think. That's how I want my staff to think. I want them to think creatively. And I do the same activity inside as well in the gymnasium. And I take things that we do have at the playgrounds, like scooters and big wheels, thanks to the County of Berks. Thank you, Kathy. But different things that we actually have already in our possession. I put them in the middle of the gym, and then I have them also create games just out of those things, out of random items. So that's kind of how I gauge creativity. And if somebody just doesn't seem to be able to think on their feet, those are the people that I concentrate on, I focus on, and give them more skills or give them resources that they can become more creative. And Jennifer said they gauge creativity during group interviews, so you know before training. That's awesome. That's a great idea as well. Are they self-motivated? Do they communicate well? Because a lot of times your staff are the ones that they're not only communicating with kids, they're communicating with you, with maintenance personnel, but they're also communicating with parents. They need to be a good representation of your organization. Are they good communicators? And what can you do to improve that? During our trainings, we have people stand up in front of the whole room, introduce themselves, talk in public, introduce the person next to them, just to give them practice doing that. You'd be amazed how many kids can't do that. Are they good leaders? Are they good problem solvers? This is one of the biggest issues I see, that kids are just not good problem solvers. And a lot of that is just learning on the job, but a lot of that is empowering them to make decisions. You know, you're not always going to get it right, but at least make a decision, you know, and do what you believe is best. And if it's not right, then you change it for the next time. And are they fun? Do they know how to have fun? If you have a staff that's on their phone all the time, that's not the staff to have. You know, I actually made a rule. If I saw anybody on their phone during work hours, I took their phone. I just took it. So, and there are many other things that all of you are doing as well. So but how do you know these things? And can you answer these questions about your staff? So, and thank you for, I don't know who BK is, blog article with virtual camp programming ideas. Great, thank you so much. So summer is an opportunity to engage kids in a meaningful way. Hopefully we will be doing that this summer. Maybe we'll be doing it virtually, we don't know. But is your program doing what it always does? You know, if I ask you, what's your summer program like? And you tell me, oh, we go miniature golfing, we go bowling, we do an art activity every single day. You know, we eat lunch, you know, the kids play a game. Like if you're doing the same old, is that good? Is that what you want? Or are you trying to can you be more creative? Can you look around and see what other people are doing? I mean, no idea really is original, right? It's somebody else's idea that's just been modified in many different ways. But what are you doing that makes your program outstanding or exceptional or even award-winning? So at the rec, I tell all of my staff, you know, if you're going to do a program, make it something you could submit for an award. Make it, think like an award winner. Think like I'm exceptional. I'm just not ordinary, you know? So what are you doing to kind of shake it up? Are you using the same theme weeks that you used like 10 years ago? You know, do you have some new blood in there giving you fresh ideas? So just something to think about. The top issues that I see with summer programs, especially when I you know, when I talk to people from local programs that ask for some help with different things, this is what I see. Lack of proper training for your staff. You know, do you know what it means to have proper staff training? I have to say, I was pretty lucky when I first started in Parks and Rec that the county at the time, and Kathy, I believe, yeah, you were there. The county at the time actually ran playground staff training for all the playground programs in the county, which was, I thought, exceptional. It kind of standardized it across the board, and they did it all. They don't do that anymore, and now departments are pretty much responsible for their own training. But I think this is a place where we really need to really concentrate our efforts, because you're not going to have good staff if you don't have them properly trained. If you don't give them the proper skill sets that they need, you don't give them the tools they need, you're not going to have good staff members. Lack of creative thinking, you know, like I said, think like an award-winning playground. Rinse and repeat methodology. Keep doing what you're doing, you get the same results, you know. Lack of funding. So this is where you need to get creative. You know, what are you looking at? Are you looking at your local resources for things that you can really add to your playground for low or no cost? There are many things that you can do. It doesn't just have to be high cost trips and activities. Not collaborating with other departments. And this is sort of like operating in silos. We see this a lot in Reading, particularly, that different youth organizations, they really kind of do their own thing and they don't like to share. They don't play well in the sandbox together. And that's something that we really need to work on, because I do not have all the answers. I just don't, you know. And as some of you on this call can attest, I pick up the phone and I ask questions and I look for answers when I don't have them myself. And a lack of organization. So, you know, when do you start planning your playground program? You know, this is, and is it organized throughout the summer? Do you know what you're doing every week? And is there room for flexibility in there? We had an issue with this, I have to be honest, a few years ago when our playground program expanded. We didn't have a playground coordinator. Now we have two that help our playground supervisor really keep everything organized, because with 9 programs, you know, there's going to be things that fall through the cracks unless you have the organization there to support it. So it's a, you know, it's a learning experience. So here's a question that I always ask. We always do a survey at the beginning and the end of our program to gauge why our kids are involved in our program. Why did they come to us? There are many options for kids in the areas that we all work, and especially in Reading, there's many organizations that provide programming in the summer. So why are they coming to us, you know? And then what would they say about our playground? What's the best thing about it? Is it the staff? Is it the activities? Is it the fact we have air conditioning? You know, whatever it is. What would your staff say? And what would you say if I asked you that? And it's interesting, you'll probably hear different answers for all 3 of these, but it's important to understand what the perception of your program is. You know, um, what would the parents of your kids say? Is it just convenient because they're working? Or did the kids hear that you have the best staff around? You know, um, why do your staff want to work for you and not for somebody else? So these are just things to consider. And finally, you know, what local resources do you have that you do not utilize? If you just did a brainstorming right now, and asked yourself, like, what do you do in your summer programming and how could you improve it? Who could you call on to help you? What cool things are going on in your area that you don't partner with, that you don't utilize in your programs? This is really important, and especially to get some creativity into your programs and stop doing what you've always done, maybe. And some of you do exceptional work, and please don't take offense to what I'm saying. But I think that a lot of times we're not looking around us to see what we have, and we have some great resources in our communities. And what do your staff have to say? So this is something that I really, you know, I've always involved my staff in programming, but as Dana mentioned, I'm in a doctoral program right now on leadership, actually. And they said that one of the most important things that people miss is that they do not collaborate with their staff. They don't have everybody at the table. That oftentimes in our positions, we're dictating to our staff, like, what you're going to do. Like, here's your theme weeks, here's the craft for the day, you know. But what would happen if we just put that control into our staff's hands? You know, some more of that control. Not saying you're not guiding the ship, but what would your staff have to say about your program and how you can improve it? And I can give you a really good example of this. So I have a staff member, Beth, and she's awesome, right? And Beth came to us and said, I want to play this new game that I've designed. I want to try it out on the kids. We're like, okay, what is it? And she said, it's Uno Kickball. And we're like, Uno Kickball. But, you know, we have Uno cards, we have kids, and we have the balls, we have the space. So we had everything she needed. And she played this game. This game was a complete, it was Medlem. We had like 57 kids playing Uno Kickball. The kids had an absolute blast. The rules changed like every 24 seconds, but it was just amazing. Like, everybody was laughing. And, you know, at the end of the week, when we said to the kids, what was the best part of your week? They're like, Miss Beth's Uno Kickball. This is not a game that we're ever going to promote nationwide or anywhere, really. It needs some work, but it's just an example of the staff just taking control and taking some ownership of what they're doing. And it was super successful. So just think about the staff you have and use them as a resource. They are a resource. And finally, my closing words are really, think like a child. You know, when's the last time you went out and drew hopscotch and played hopscotch? You know, when's the last time you participated in any of these games? When's the last time you were in a dodgeball? When's the last time you actually played like a child? You know, because that's I think where we're missing the boat a lot of the times, that as we get older, like in my case, I'm 49, right? I have to sometimes just put aside my director role and go down in the gym and just shoot some baskets with the kids, just to kind of get in it and think like kids, and see it through their eyes. So that's what I have for today. Does anybody have any questions or would like anything from me? I'm happy to share anything I have. I have lots of resources, just a matter of putting it all together. Dan?
Daphne, I was wondering if you could share another special event that happened in your camp that, you know, maybe others could take up.
Oh, wow. Okay, so we have, like I said, we have 9 different programs, so they're all slightly different. We have had local musicians come in and do drumming workshops, which we can't necessarily do that for like every single park, but sometimes we'll have somebody that says, I can come in and do something for this park. So we have a local musician that came in and brought all kinds of instruments and did that with the kids, did that with 80 kids at one of our programs, just as a on the fly. We also did some art contests around our local sewer grates, which seems a very odd activity, but the kids absolutely loved it. They were given paint by the city, and they actually went out and painted sewer drains to prevent people from throwing things in them. Something different. We have done a lot of theatrical performances. We partner with the Yoakum Institute of Arts, and we've done anti-bullying skits, whatever theme they excuse me, whatever theme they have for the summer. We're partnering with them. We have, gosh, I should have written it all down. We do a lot.
I'm sure you do.
We
That's
set
okay.
up, no, that's okay. We set up water slides at parks that did not have water facilities. We actually took tarps and water and bubbles, and we made huge slides at some of our parks that have these gigantic hills, because we had days where the temperature was like over 100 degrees. So I had one of my playground programs, don't tell the lawyer, but they set up a water slide on our sliding boards. They put like water and soap and water, and they were sending me pictures, and I'm like, please don't post these on Facebook, but the kids had a blast. I think it's just I'm thinking creatively. We work with the museum every year to do projects that have to do with the museum. Those kids, they get to make, paper mache or float boats down the creeks, play in the creeks. I mean, Berks Nature had a great field trip for us where all our kids got to just get in the mud and stick their feet in the mud and their hands in the mud and look for worms and fish. Oh gosh, and there's a lot. I mean, I could send you a list. We every park's a little different, because like I said, we do actually work with our staff at each park to get ideas of what they think would be good for their staff. I mean, for their kids, since we're kind of serving different populations at some of our parks. Does that answer?
Okay, well, yeah, that's great. Thank you. And some comments from the chat. One says, nice job. The other one is, do you have an outline for your training program that you would be willing to share?
Yes.
And wondering if you are thinking of charging if offering a virtual camp.
No. So I can answer that question. So virtual programming, if that's what we do, will be offered free of charge. And because as it is, a lot of our kids are scholarshiped, we do charge for summer playground, but it's very inexpensive. So our playgrounds, just to give you reference, it's $55 for the summer for a normal playground, and specialty camps, it's like $95. But that's the entire summer. That's 8 weeks of programming with meals every day. We expect that our meal program will continue through the summer. So we will still be providing meals at all of our playground sites, but not necessarily, not having playground programs. That's kind of where we're trending right now. But we are going to do activity packets. We're going to do challenges throughout the summer. So our plan is actually to encourage our kids to come out to the playground sites they would normally attend, to get a meal, to get the activities for the day or the week, and keep them engaged that way. And we're planning to hire our playground leaders who would normally work for us to hand out meals, so that the kids will have some continuity and connection with people that they would normally see in the summer program.
Okay.
What else? Yeah, staff training, and I'm trying to read the chat as well, but how many programs offer a theme for each season? Yeah, so I can answer this from Reading's perspective. So I have, and if anybody needs theme week ideas, I mean, I have like probably 30 of them. I have like complete theme weeks, but some of them are from like forever ago. I'm happy to share them, but we're coming up with new theme weeks and new things to do. We do put a lot of free time into our program because kids need downtime. It's not school, it's summer. So I'm happy to share any of those things with you, and they have craft activities in them and everything. So.
Okay. There we go. And 2 and 3. Okay, again, a lot of good ideas came up during this workshop, this webinar, and I know Daphne is ready to share. I would also love to share any ideas that you wanted to. If I could get them all, like by the end of the week, I could send them all out to you on a group email by Friday. And please, so if you have any ideas you want to share or documents or something like that, please, danh@prps.org. It's a real easy one. You can send that stuff out to me. I'll put it all together and send it out. By that time, we should also have either a recording or the slides from this show ready, along with a summary of some of the chats. So that's what we have for now. I want to, if you are interested in getting a CEU credit for this workshop, you will need to go to the SurveyMonkey site that's listed on your screen right now. And it's www.surveymonkey.com/r/XMD7LWW. That'll take you to a very short survey where you answer a question or two. We will get you out a letter of attendance for this CEU credit. That is about all. Daphne, thank you for speaking with us today and for the wonderful presentation. And I want to thank everyone for taking time out of your busy schedules to join us this afternoon. And we hope to see you all later. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, Daphne.
Well done.